I saw this one thing. We talked about adding this as a segment in our podcast when we first started
Yeah, a long
it,
time
right?
ago. Yeah.
And I think we just never got around to doing it. And I think, and in the beginning, there were so many things we were still trying to find our voices, still trying to learn each other's like communication styles. So we just it never became a thing. Hopefully now it can. But yeah, you're familiar with Hmong Anonymous?
Yeah, like you said, we talked about it before for a while because Hmong Anonymous is in the Hmong community is like a big old page.
Yeah.
It's either a lot of serious or troll or a combination of both. Who knows what's
Yeah.
fictional and what's truth? But they have a lot of engagement.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
a lot of people engage with it, and I think you found one.
Yep.
that was kind of
I found
interesting.
one, and maybe we'll like create like a little music button
Oh,
or
yeah.
like a little segment where it's like and we'll do this like at the end of all of our podcasts, where we'll read Among Anonymous and we'll kind of react to it.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll have some guests do it too, because I think it'll be kind of
Yeah, I
fun
need
just to kind of
something.
hear.
Mic check. Oh no, that doesn't.
Okay, we'll have to figure that out, but like we'll have to like have some kind of like funny, I guess audio that we can like cue up this segment or something with.
Mic check. No, never mind.
Okay.
I'm trying to play.
We'll
with my
figure it
buttons
out.
here.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. But okay, so Hmong Anonymous. So this is from an anonymous user. It has 100 likes, 236 comments. I think this is a great topic. But I'm just gonna go ahead and read it. It says, "My mother-in-law has been living with my husband and I for the past couple of years. He's the only son with two sisters that are married out of state. I was under the impression that she was going to get her own place within a few years. Now, me and my husband are finally buying a house. She wants to move in with us, saying she can put her own little house in the backyard. I don't want. Let's see. I don't want that. I'm finally glad we are buying a house. I told her that I wanted it to be just us. I want to work on having kids. I have no privacy. I feel trapped because she said I am not compromising. She said I'm just being selfish. My husband is also agreeing with her. He says she is his mother and she wants to stay. He's not going to kick her out. Now my sister-in-law are messaging me and calling me all sorts of names. I feel like I can't talk to anyone. This kills me. What should I do?" That's huge, right? I think as the youngest son, I think like,
I mean, I feel like that's all. Like, did my wife write that, dude? I'm the only son,
dude,
with
yeah.
two.
Oh.
Well, no, let me take that back. I have a brother and a sister, but
Yeah.
yeah.
But, well, in the Hmong culture, like the
That's
youngest son is supposed to take on.
Is it the youngest son that's really supposed
I
to do
thought so.
that?
I thought so.
Oh,
Dude,
I'm not sure.
We're bad. We're bad Hmong.
But yeah, and we addressed it a little bit before we actually started recording, but that's a common thing in the Hmong culture, right?
Mm-hmm.
When the parents get old, we, as opposed to other cultures, are not as likely to probably send our parents to an old folks' home.
Right.
We usually would rather like house that the mom or their dad with one of the sons or daughters. But when that happens, it always involves a husband or a wife,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so to them, it's not their own parents.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think individually, selfishly, we're always okay with our own parents. And so it asks that we be just as open for our partner's parents too.
Right.
But I can, like my father-in-law lived with me for, I think almost 3 years, you
Mm-hmm.
know? And so it's definitely it's a challenge. I'm not saying it's a tough challenge. I was very open arms. It's my wife's dad. I treat him just like it would be my own
Mm-hmm.
dad. You know, it's I'm gonna open my house to them. It's no problem. But I can't understand where someone would not necessarily want that either. Especially like how this person said they want to start a family, they want the privacy, and the mother-in-law is asking, which first of all, it's kind of, if you're asking me,
Yeah.
I would do it open heart. But if you are asking me like, hey, when do I
It's
move in
even
with?
harder to
Yeah,
say
when do I
no,
move in
yeah.
with you? I'd be like, what you mean when you move in with me? It's my house.
Yeah.
although I would gladly do it, but the fact that someone asks you, it's
Yeah.
almost like, oh, I'm obligated. I'm
Yeah. Oh,
obligated.
okay. Yeah.
Like, you
Yeah.
mean I'm
Yeah.
obligated? You're telling me I'm obligated?
Yeah.
Like, that's different than if I just said, you're welcome to come in.
Yeah.
And then we also talked about what if the in-laws are really what if their personality style makes it very difficult for you?
Yeah.
And
Oh,
that
yeah.
creates a problem now that you have with the father and mother-in-law, which then the son or daughter is always going to have a very heavy side leaning up with their parent, right?
Right.
So then it creates a conflict inside the house
Yeah.
that maybe was never needed to be there.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
I definitely agree with you. I think just my initial reaction to this is you got to take the L. You know, you take the L. You got to.
I mean, it's the right thing to do.
But yeah, it is the right thing to do.
According
but you're
to
totally
us.
right.
According to
And
us.
like, one is, it sounds like they don't have kids yet, so they want to start a family. You're right though. Like, if you have somebody living in your house, a mother-in-law, there's not a lot of room for intimacy. Like, we
No.
have 2 kids. My wife's sister is actually just moved in, and her boyfriend moved in to kind of help us watch the kids as we grow the business. And like, yeah, intimacy has changed, you know, for sure. And so like, I can't imagine having your mother-in-law in the
Yeah.
house. And your other point is great too. It's like, dude, like, what if you've got you know, I'm not saying this person's parents are shitty, but yeah, if you got parents that maybe have a substance abuse issue or just have a different lifestyle
But dude,
choice than yourself, like, it could be an issue.
We've seen Hmong OGs, man. Some Hmong OGs are crazy, man. I'll say straight up. Some Hmong
Yeah.
OGs are crazy. And so, like, and crazy in the sense that, like, they're going to tell you what to do. They want you
Right.
to do things this way. How come you're not cooking? How come you're not cleaning?
Yeah.
A lot of Hmong, like, some Hmong OGs are like that. And we're a different generation. So there's a clash of generation, too.
Oh, yeah, for
so it's
sure.
like, if you come in and tell me, I'm in my own house, and now
Yeah.
you tell me, how come this and clean all this and stuff? Eventually,
gonna
I'm
be an
g-
issue.
yeah, eventually I'm gonna be like, yo, you live with me, right?
Yeah.
You understand
This
that.
is
But then
my house.
they're gonna use the other rule, which is no, but I'm the father, I get to say that, and I
Yeah.
just don't jive that way.
Yeah.
Now, if the in-laws come in and the in-laws are very respectful, understanding that they're taking up some of your space,
Yeah.
then it's reciprocal.
Yeah.
It's not an issue to me. I want you here anyway, you know.
Yeah.
So, but I'd rather that relationship than the butt head relationship,
Right.
you know, because
Yeah.
that probably will happen
Yeah.
if it hasn't already happened.
Yeah, and for sure, I think you have to for sure set ground rules too. Like, especially if they're coming in. I think there's a term in Hmong is GJ or Nichena.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
like
yeah.
the owner of
Right,
the house,
right,
right? Who
right.
runs the house,
household,
right?
yeah.
So if they come in, they have to understand that you're the mom of the house. This is your house, and and you kind of have to set those boundaries. And I would set those boundaries like early on,
Yeah.
or even like, even as you guys are having conversations about this, like, all right, this can happen, but if you said you were gonna move out by this date, I need this to happen,
Yeah.
or I'm gonna help you with get this and this going. But like, I think whatever those rules are, you guys just need to lay down some kind of boundaries, and you know, but also if one of those boundaries is no, you're not living in my house.
Yeah. I
That's
that
understandable too, but like,
Here's
is tough.
here's how I came to the solution, because I assume that at some point I am the only son, the youngest son, and I absolutely want to bring my parents in. I've talked about this with my wife already, that I want to bring my parents in.
Yeah.
Because I want to take care of them. I don't want to take them to a retirement home. That's very expensive to do, to actually bring your parents in and support them, especially as they get real old and they actually need the support, stuff like that. And I kind of came to the conclusion for me, and this is not for everybody, I'm just speaking for myself always, is I'm going to work my ass off, make as much money as I can, and then I'm going to buy a big ass house so that it feels like we don't even live together.
Yeah.
But we still do, right? You're only down the hall, but that hallway is pretty long, so it's like we don't even live together.
Yeah.
Like, that would be the only way, because I can't understand. I mean, it's just like us, right? Or it's like you know, and I know you love your wife and your kids, but when the place is small, there's just something about human beings when we're in the same space all the time.
Butt heads
exactly,
all the time.
you're just gonna butt heads. So if it's large enough, then you might butt heads. But at the end of the day, you walk that way, I go this way. We're in the
Right. We
same
got our own
house.
space where
Yeah,
we
we're in
can
the
go
same
and
house, but we're
wind down.
separated. So I know that's not an opportunity for everybody, and that you can't. Not everybody can just go buy a big house. I'm not saying that even I can, but in my head, that's what I said I'm gonna do. I'm gonna get me a big house
Yeah.
where we can have the best of both worlds.
Yep.
And that's just the way I choose to look at it. That's what
Yeah.
motivates me to say I'm gonna work hard because I do want my parents with me. But I'm also very honest about the idea of I know how my parents are. To put them with my wife, it's also not fair for my wife
Right.
to have to deal
Yeah.
with my parents when they're being a certain way. And my parents are just being who they are, you know. And you get
Yeah.
old, you stick to your ways, you know. You get
Yep.
old, you're comfortable in your
Yep.
ways. And I don't want to put that as a burden onto my wife either. And I don't think that my wife should have to bear that. And even if I brought my mother-in-law in, same thing. I would want her to have her space because they need their spaces too. They don't want us around all the time, you know. Because as much as it is our house, it also becomes their house, you
Right.
know. So
Yeah.
you know, you're gonna like you almost need two kitchens. You know?
Exactly.
Two
Exactly.
kitchens.
Yeah. Yeah, and there's no right or wrong answer.
There is no
to
right or
this.
wrong.
Man, this is crazy. This is a hot topic in our community because this happens a lot.
It happens a lot.
And
yeah.
I would say, man, one of the things that has led to the success of the Hmong community is like the tightness of their
I
families.
don't think it should go away. I
you
think
know?
that's the beautiful
Yeah.
part about the Hmong
Yeah.
culture is that we're not so quick to send our parents out to
Right.
to the retirement home. We just
Exactly.
all work together, you know. And I hope that stays like that for as long as possible. As specifically when we talk about Hmong in Western society,
Yeah.
because it still happens, obviously in
Yep,
Laos or
exactly.
Thailand or whatever. But
Yeah.
but I can see that, you know, there might be a time when that starts to fade away in
Right.
in the U.S. and
Yeah.
France, Australia.
And I think that still absolutely can happen, but I think it takes good communication between the spouses, between the parents coming in, and just kind of setting those ground rules like early on, and just being empathetic to each other, and trying to
yes.
understand each other.
Whew, that's hard sometimes.
Yeah, not
Yeah.
easy, but yeah,
But it's needed. Yeah.
yeah. These are kind of fun, man. Like I hope we can continue to do like these segments like this though.